everyone, my name is Angela Petrilli here with my friends from Guitarcenter with the brand new Fender American Ultra Luxe Vintage 60s Stratocaster. The Strat blends both vintage and modern aesthetics and tones and all that good stuff. It's really, really great. Let's first look at the vintage. So obviously if we just look at the guitar, we see that it has a nitro cellulose finish, meaning it's a little bit thinner and it allows for us to get that cool checking on the body of the instrument, something you'd expect to see on a vintage guitar. It's really, really cool touch. Another thing that's neat are the clay dots that we have on the fretboard of the instrument, something we also saw in vintage instruments. And finally, another great nod to the vintage sound and mojo are the pure vintage 61 pickups that we have in the Stratocaster. So not only does this guitar have some vintage mojo, it also has some great modern specs that help the modern player do their thing and create some great music. Something that really jumps out with me on this guitar is the S-1 selector here, which is great, located right on top of the volume knob. All you do to engage, you just press it and you're good to go. And another feature that I really like as a player who tours quite a bit and does a lot of shows are the locking tuners here. Another convenient modern feature on the Strat is the 2-point ultra synchronized tremolo with a pop-in arm. What you do is you grab the bar, put in the tremolo, no fuss, and you're ready to go. This guitar has plenty more modern specs and I look forward to showing you the rest of them. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite pickup positions on a Stratocaster that I like to use when I'm playing. But I encourage you, if there's sounds that you really like, skip through the chapters on the video below and find out more. We're going to start with the neck position. So this is position 5. I like this position a lot because it has, to me, the best of both worlds. The chords sound really luscious and beautiful and glassy, but also it has enough punch and enough textural character to where if you wanted to solo in the neck position, it sounds absolutely incredible. I am going through the Fender Deluxe Reverb amp here with no effects. This is Strat and amp. Playing through that, the modern D neck shape, really, really comfortable with those great kind of chunky, jazzy type chords. Feels really good in the hands. And something else that is really great with this guitar is the medium jumbo stainless steel frets. And I love how they're rounded off at the top. I like to play with my thumb a lot. I notice like it doesn't get caught up. It's really, really comfortable. So again, as a player, those little details really make playing the instrument that much more comfortable. So that's really great. That's something I definitely noticed. I played a lot of vintage instruments. These pure vintage 61 pickups, they really capture that mojo that you would expect from a vintage instrument. When you pick up an instrument and you pick up one that's vintage, that's been loved, that's been played, right? Something that I look for, the pickups have to have like a really beautiful charisma and character to them. They're not just loud to be loud. They aren't, big just to sound big. You can choose to be delicate with them by playing, nice chords or even nice little lead lines. But if you need them to have that attack and that big, big sound with, say, a big solo, say with like some overdrive or like some fuzz and that kind of thing, they can really create that beautiful foundation for you to be authentic to yourself as a player and to really inspire you creatively as a musician. All right, so what we're gonna do next, I played that last demo clean, guitar into amp. This time I'm gonna do a touch of overdrive. I am using my Prince of Tone by Analog Man, just to get a little bit of bite, see what we get. Something very cool that jumped out with me when I engaged the overdrive onto the Strat in the neck position. Had a lot of bite for a neck pickup, which was a very, very welcomed surprise. Sometimes it's a little more subdued, but this really had some character and really had just some some nice bite that you need when it's time to hit the solo. So now we are in the neck and middle position, also known as position 4. This is personally my favorite Strat position. I love the butteriness of the combination of these two pickups together. It works very beautifully when you're comping chords. It's got a beautiful, beautiful, just luscious tone. Really, truly my favorite position to play when I'm playing Strat. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna go guitar into the amp, and let's see what we get. Again, going back to the modern D neck, very, very comfortable. As you noticed, I was playing different inversions of these chords up and down the neck. Great time to talk about this awesome compound radius. So 10 to 14 is what we're looking at here. Feels very comfortable when I play like an open E chord. And then when I'm going to the first inversion, all the way up at like the 9th and 11th frets. Feels very seamless. I feel like I'm not getting caught up on the back of the neck. I can find my spots and my notes where I need them. So again, like those little things make a really big difference for a player like someone like me. I really like to explore the fretboard a lot and engage like with those different inversions. And along with this position 4 like pickup configuration makes this very seamless and very easy to get those nice big open chords in a really easy way. So this next part here, what I'm going to do, keeping it in position 4, I'm going to do a little bit of overdrive. That's a really cool, crunchy sound. Again, tied in with that beautiful neck pickup that we talked about earlier, how it has a nice bite. I feel like with that mellowness of the middle pickup combined with that bite of the neck pickup, we get a really interesting characteristic with these two pickups working together along with a little bit of grit and overdrive. Very surprising, yet very inspiring as well. All right, so now we're on the bridge position, position 1. How I like to use this pickup position is when I am playing lead or I want some really nice, like tight comping chords. That's what I really like the bridge position for. In a real world experience, I do this often when I play, is say I am doing some chords in position 4 and I'm playing and I'm playing and I'm playing. And then it's time for me to do a solo. Something easy that I like to do is I just go and I hit position 1 and I'm ready to go. Reason why I do that is the complexities of all of these pickups, they're all a little bit different, right? And they all have different tones. So when I go from position 4 to position 1, I know there's going to be a sonic lift. So when it's time for me to do a solo, I know that I will be able to differentiate the tones of the first pickup setup that I did to going to bridge. For this example, what I'm going to do here is I am just going through bridge position Stratocaster into the Fender amp. Let's see what we get. So bridge position, position 1. In that demo, I combined some little lead lines with comping some kind of cool funky chords. This pickup really, to me, sounds very nostalgic. It reminds me of those Motown records, right? With a nice, like tight chords, these pure vintage 61 pickups really sparked that nostalgic sound for me as I was playing that. It's that quackiness is something I would expect from a Strat. It's that sound that I look for when I look for that nice, tight pickup sound. So now this is the part of the demo where we engage the wah. What I'm gonna do here, I've got it in the bridge position, position 1, wah, Strat, and amp. Let's see what we get. So with that last demo, we engaged the wah. This is a very big pedal. That's a very big sound. It's got this nice sweeping movement. The bridge pickup still rang nice and clear. We could still hear the tonality and the brightness, right? And the bite of this pickup, along with the nice sweep of the wah. They worked very, very well together. We didn't lose sight of the pickup. We still heard it as we were playing this. Sounded great, nice and tight. That's things I look for when, I'm doing little comping lines with wah, is I still want to hear the pickup. I don't just want to hear the wah. And this absolutely nailed it. My favorite modern feature of the Strat, hands down, is the S-1 selector. So it is located on top of the volume knob. All you do to engage the S-1 selector is click it down and you're good to go. So what I have here, when I have it in position 1, this S-1 selector, it uses the bridge pickup and the neck pickup in parallel. It's a very unique sound. What I'm gonna do here is, again, guitar to amp, and that's it. So let's see what we get. So really cool modern touch that we have here. This pickup selection is not something that we get in a vintage instrument. Again, probably my favorite modern touch on this Strat is that S-1 selector. We are using the bridge and the neck in parallel. Kind of reminds me of a Tele in that spacing. It has the bite of the bridge and the presence of that neck pickup to create a very unique and very inspiring tone for a player. All right, so what we're gonna do here for this next demo where I start to incorporate some pedals, I'm gonna put on my MXR Phase 90. This is a phaser. What I also like about these two pickups working together, chords sound really beautiful with these two pickups in parallel. So we're gonna try that and let's see what we get. Similarly to position 1 that we had without the S-1 switch engaged with the wah, we noticed that still that pickup rang true. We could still hear the characteristics through the wah. Similarly with this, we had the phaser on, yet we could still hear the presence, the tone, the clarity of that bridge and that neck pickup in parallel. We still hear the characteristics of those two pickups. They still cut through, even with a washy phaser. To me, that's something that's very inspiring because when you pick up a guitar, you want the pickups to sound great. That's what inspires you to play. I could still hear that through the phaser with those beautiful open chords. That was very, very inspiring. I really like that. I really, really like that pickup. Overall, for my first look at the Strat, it's a really beautiful, beautiful touch of vintage and modern. We have the vintage look with the checking and the nitro, the pure vintage 61 pickups, with the modern touch of the locking tuners and the S-1. These are things I look towards. I want to be inspired when I play. We want to encapsulate that energy and that creativity. These instruments are an extension of ourselves. We want to be inspired when we play. We want this to feel like this is part of us. And these little touches, I know for me, allows me to truly lock into that creativity and lock into that inspiration when I pick up an instrument like this. Simply put, just a great guitar. It sounds and plays like a Strat. If you'd like to learn more about the Fender American Ultra Luxe Vintage 60s Stratocaster, go to guitarcenter.com, call one of their expert gear advisors, or try one out at your local GC.